Hello again. As I like saying, it's always something. The something today is the rearview mirror on my 2001 BMW Z3. The mirror on these, after a period of time, it gets to where you try to set the mirror in a certain position and you hit a bump and the thing flops down. Or you push it up and it just doesn't want to stay. And what happens with these, on the back side of it, there's the attachment bracket and there's a ball that clips into the back of the mirror. That ball is made out of plastic, and what it does is you've got the ball and this little clip, and the clip kind of puts some friction on that to hold the mirror in place. And once that thing cracks, there's a couple things you can do. One, you can either stick a piece of paper in that ball and push it back up. In my case, I stuck a piece of plastic bag up in there, and that was kind of a temporary fix to keep my mirror from, doing one of these numbers every time I hit a bump. And I went and I ordered a new mirror, and I ordered a new bracket to mount onto the windshield. And I'll talk a little bit about that bracket later on. But right now I've already got my old bracket off the window. If you go on YouTube and look at some of the videos, the guys show how to remove this, and what they say to do is get everything out of the way and take a heat gun or a propane torch. In my case, use a little propane torch, and you aim it right on the metal of that little bracket that sits on your window. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to put the heat on the glass, and you don't want to melt anything nearby. In this case here, along the top here, I've got a plastic trim, so I have to be careful that I didn't hit the plastic trim with the heat. So when I put the heat gun up, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. So when I put when I put the propane torch up, what I tried to do is I tried to angle the propane torch down a bit away from this piece of plastic here. I didn't want to put the heat on it this direction because the heat would go up, hit the bracket, bounce back, and melt this piece of trim. So I kept the heat kind of aimed down a little bit, and I put the torch on about as low as it would go and still run. It took me maybe heating the metal bracket about, 20 seconds at the most. The windshield around where the bracket is kind of hazed up a little bit. That was fine. And then at that point there, I was able to take a pair of channel locks and just kind of twist that metal bracket a little bit, and it popped right off. So at the point that you get the bracket off, you take yourself a scraper, one of these guys, and scrape any residual adhesive off the inside of the glass. Now, I didn't mention, I probably should have mentioned it earlier, before you take your metal bracket off the window, what you want to do is you want to get a permanent marker, and from the outside of the glass, this side out here, make a little circle, make an X, make something, mark the spot where your current bracket is. So when you go to replace the new mount bracket, you can just kind of center it up on that. And you don't have to worry about like, oh man, I'm too far too low, or too far to the side, too far it's crooked, or whatever. Just mark the spot. So if you're wondering how do you get the old mirror off the mount bracket, well, if you look at the back side of this mirror, you'll see it's kind of got a triangular shape to it. And looking at the metal mount bracket, you'll see that it also has like 3 ears on it in a triangular shape. The way the mirror mounts up on the window, what you're going to want to do is just grab it and turn it 45 degrees one way or the other way, and it'll disengage these little 3 ears, and the mirror will pop right off the window. And at that point there, then you can apply some heat to this, and with a pair of channel locks, carefully just twist it. Don't try to pull it towards you at first. You want to twist it. You want to see if that adhesive is softened enough to get this off. If it's not softened enough and you start trying to pry straight out or up and down on this thing, you may end up cracking your window. So give it a little bit of a twist with the channel locks first, and if it starts twisting, then at that point there, pull it right off. So I've got a piece of paper put over the outside of the window to show you the mark that I made on the outside of the window to mark the location of the original attach bracket. And when I got up inside and started looking at this, I looked at my dome light, and I looked at the mark on my window, and I was like, well, hell, that's not even directly on the center line of the windshield. So what I'm going to do when I put this up is I'm going to move it just a little bit to the right, maybe a 1/4 inch or so, to get that centered up on the windshield and between the two visors and on the dome light. Here's what I got to replace my original factory mirror. This is my original factory mirror. This is my replacement mirror. I'll post a something near the end of the video that shows what model it is and manufacturer. I got it off of Amazon. I think I paid 15 bucks for it. And when you compare it to what was originally on the car, the original one kind of wider at the bottom than this one, but this one's small enough to fit in the windshield. This is an 8-inch wide mirror. You'll find when you go online trying to find mirrors, you got 8-inch, 9-inch, 10-inch, 11-inch, 12-inch mirrors. They're specific for certain vehicles. It gets kind of confusing, but I'll put some stuff at the end of this video to show you what I ordered in order to make this mirror work on my 2001 Z3. I also ordered some Permatex adhesive, and I ordered a set of mount brackets here. Now the mirror itself came with a bracket on the back, and this thing was like almost like chrome and shiny and pretty blingy, and my original BMW had a black back on the side of it, which I thought was pretty classy. So I went and ordered some replacement brackets to fit up on the window. When I get this package open, I'll show you something to watch out for when you're ordering mirrors for your car. Here's one of the things I learned when I went through this process of ordering a replacement mirror for my Z3. First off, I knew that the BMW attach bracket was BMW, and unless I get an OEM mirror for buku bucks, that may or may not have the same problem that mine has with it not holding its position, because more than likely I would have to get one off of eBay and get a used one. So I knew right off the bat that a replacement mirror would not fit this bracket, and I'd have to either get an adapter or, in my case, remove the bracket and replace it along with the mirror. Here's the bracket that came with my mirror, and it's kind of a gold colored blingy looking thing, and I really don't want to put that up. So what I did is I went online, and for about $5 or $6 I got a package from Dorman. I ordered off of Amazon, but Dorman makes it, of 3 different types of attach brackets. And as you can see here, this one is more round at the top than this one, and this is the narrowest of them all, and this is the one that closest matches the one that goes on my mirror. When I put this one up and try to slip my mirror onto it, the ears on the side here are just a fraction of an inch wider than the ears on this one. So I'm going to take a piece of sandpaper and I'm going to sand this and kind of narrow it up a little bit so it will fit my mirror, and then I'll put it up. And the reason I'm changing it is because you can kind of see this is more of a darker gray color. I would prefer to have gotten black, but that wasn't available. Then this bright gold blingy looking attach bracket. I'm going to talk about this original factory mirror for a second. As anybody who has one of these Z3 knows, this mirror is on a fixed stem. And where it attaches in the window, up here, in my case, I'm a tall person. When I'm trying to go off an off-ramp and I'm trying to look to the right to see if there's any traffic or stopped cars, this mirror blocks my view. And there's no way for me to adjust it and move it up because it's on a fixed stem. And I would end up having to duck my head to the right or look down below the mirror, and I never really liked that aspect of this Z3 mirror. Good looking mirror, did its job, but that was a drawback in my opinion on the mirror. Going to a mirror like this with an adjustable stem on it, I can adjust this end and I can adjust this end. I can now put this mirror and set it up to it just about touching the frame where my dome light is. And what that ends up giving me compared to the old mirror is I now have about another inch of view that I could see towards the off-ramp that I didn't have before when the mirror was down here. That's about the difference between the two. This is the new one. The old one was down about here. So I think this is going to be an improvement, at least visibility-wise, for myself. I finally got this replacement bracket to fit the mirror attachment. It took quite a bit of fussing and sanding to get this thing to slide in, and it made me kind of realize that even when you get replacement brackets that are supposed to be the ones that fit, they might not even fit well. In retrospect, if I had known it would take this much screwing around to get this replacement bracket to fit, I probably would just go ahead and install the original blingy looking bracket and been done with it. It took about 15 minutes sanding, fitting, swearing, getting it stuck, getting it unstuck, to finally get the thing to fit where I can slide it in and out reasonably well. I'm not going to go into any detailed explanation on how to install this adhesive in the bracket. The Permatex website has a video that shows how to do this. It's pretty straightforward. Wipe it off, wipe the area with that little towelette, apply a little bit of adhesive to the back of your attached bracket, and then just push the bracket up in place and hold it till it dries. Let me pass on a little bit of a warning. I almost had an oops here. I had marked where I wanted to mount my bracket as the same location as the old BMW bracket, but when I cleaned everything up and went to go put my replacement bracket in place here, I put the glue on it, put it in position, was just, you know, humming to myself, all happy that I'm about done with the job. And then I realized something. I realized that this bracket was too high up to the windshield frame, and there was no way I would be able to get my mirror slipped into place. So what I ended up having to do is I had to hurry up and move the bracket down a little bit. What you want to make sure before you mount that bracket into the location that you think is going to be good, you want to make sure that you can slip that mirror onto that bracket. If I hadn't caught it, I wouldn't have been able to get this on. I'd had to take everything back apart again and not necessarily start from zero, but I'd have had to back up quite a bit. There I go. Slip it up into place. Make sure it's all the way down. Number 2 Phillips screwdriver on the set screw. I just position this to where I'm happy with it. And that's it, the job's done. So that's pretty much it for installing the rearview mirror on my BMW Z3. When I was finished, I had some permanent marker still on the outside of the windshield. That was easy enough to clean off with a rag and some isopropyl alcohol. And because I had mispositioned the bracket on the inside, I had some slime adhesive was smeared all over near that bracket. And that was nothing more than a little bit of acetone to clean that up. I'm going to show you the mirror that I ordered from Amazon, the replacement brackets that I ordered from Amazon, and what the adhesive was that I ordered to do this job. This is a adapter that was recommended by an individual in a BMW Z3 forum. He had found that this Brand Motion TFAB twist-off mirror mount adapter bracket was a switch over for the existing BMW Z3 rearview mirror that was screwed up. It cost 35 bucks on Amazon. That was no big deal. He had also paired this item up with a rearview mirror. That rearview mirror that he mentioned in his posting was no longer available, no longer made. So I just couldn't order this bracket and a mirror. I had to order a different mirror. Here's the mirror that I picked up off from Amazon. It's a United Pacific 8-inch black day-night interior rearview mirror. And it had two sizes. One was an 8-inch size, one was a 10-inch size. You can see from the picture that the 8-inch is actually 7 7/8 inches long. I didn't want to get one that was too long and then it would hit the visors when they were put down. And I paid 16.5 bucks for this. So the mount bracket that I originally purchased was 30 some odd dollars. This was $16, so I'm out, approaching $50 to replace my rear view mirror. I got my mirror and the mount adapter came in, and when I went to go check to see if the mirror would fit on the mount adapter, of course, that's when I found out that, well, not all mirrors are the same, not all adapters are the same. So I had to go back online, and I found this Brand Motion 5000 SPCR windshield mirror wedge mount spacer, which I would then attach to the bracket, and then my mirror would attach to this. It was another 50 bucks for this thing. So I'm looking at, okay, I've got 35 bucks for the bracket, I've got 16 bucks for the mirror. That's 50 bucks. I got another 50 bucks. I got to buy this part. And at that point there, I decided it's just getting too expensive for me here to replace this rear view mirror going the route that the individual recommended in the BMW form. So at that point there, I sent the brand motion bracket back to Amazon and got a refund on it. I ordered the Dorman 3-pack of rear mirror mount adapters from Amazon for about $6. This is the adhesive that I used. Permatex, cost about $7 on Amazon. This concludes my video on the replacement of a rear view mirror on a 2001 BMW Z3. Between the cost of the mirror, the brackets, and the adhesive, I'm out $31. Ordered everything off of Amazon. Took me about an hour and a half worth of my time. Hopefully anybody who plans on doing this job will run across this video first, see how it's done, realize they need to have a few things on hand before they start the job. Also realize there's potential to make some mistakes, as in mounting that bracket too high on your window and not being able to get your mirror in place. So thank you for watching, and take care.